Alright, I'm super bored, so why not make a super nerdy video talking about the two best pulse rifles in the entire game, at least legendary pulse rifles, the Messenger and the Elsie's rifle. I'd say around 70% of my Twitch chat still think Messenger's better than Elsie's rifle, maybe even more, which surprised me because I see way more Elsie's rifle as opposed to Messenger. What do I think is better? Well, I guess we'll find out as we compare the two. I'm gonna be nitpicking every little small detail because there's only two weapons we're comparing in this video, so every small little detail matters. The Messenger is one of the older overpowered pulse rifles we remember from back in the day. It is still extremely strong, and there's a reason why people to this day still defend it as the best pulse in the game. It has perks like Rapid Hit, which in my opinion is the best pulse rifle perk to ever exist. It also has Head Seeker, Kill Clip, Desperado if you have an older version. New versions has Keep Away, which is really good, and just a bunch of stuff that helps the gun feel way better. In terms of heavy hitting pulses though, I will say I think Head Seeker is probably the move because it makes the gun forgiving. If you hit a body shot, you can still get the optimal time to kill. The origin traits on the Messenger are not bad. You have Alacrity, which is fine, and you also have Wild Card. Wild Card is a solid origin trait. I don't use it too often because a lot of the guns I use just don't have it, but if I am using, let's say, the Summoner, for example, I do enjoy having Wild Card on because it could stop some reses. But overall, perks and origin traits, very, very good. Nothing bad so far. This gun also has the option of ricochet rounds, giving you extra stability, which is very strong, so you always want to go with that. And since it is an adept weapon, you can put adept mods on it, making it even stronger. The stats on this thing were already insane. Slap on an adept mod and this thing feels absolutely broken. The Messenger only has 60 recoil direction base, so a lot of the times people are going to be going for arrowhead break, which is completely fine. It's always a really good barrel to use on a pulse rifle. Technically speaking, you don't have to go with it though. You could just completely ignore the recoil direction since you have Rapid Hit. But if you want the gun to feel even better, I'd recommend still using high recoil direction. So what's wrong with the Messenger? Isn't it the perfect gun? Everything I've listed has been really good, hasn't it? Honestly, you're right. Everything about the gun is practically perfect. And on top of the fact that it's an adept weapon, how can the Elsie's rifle compete? I mean, it's literally the best. The only issue with this gun, and I told you I'll be nitpicking every little thing, and this is kind of a big deal to me personally, and I think if a lot of people kind of notice this as well, they would agree with me. It is the zoom on this weapon. It's 18 zoom as opposed to Elsie's rifle's 17 zoom. I know this doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you get into close range combat with this thing, the 17 zoom is way better to have as opposed to the 18 zoom. Hitting your shots is going to be way better, whether it's in small tight corridors or maybe it's just close range shotgun apes running straight at you. Hitting the two bursts with more zoom is a lot harder. And I know if they're further out, yeah, the zoom will help out, but let's be honest, a lot of the gunfights are mid-range. Having only 17 zoom is way better. Zoom doesn't give you range anymore, by the way. I'm just putting that out there in case you forgot. So that one small stat point of zoom honestly makes the gun way worse for me personally. Some of you guys might not mind it, and that's completely fine. You can still keep using the gun. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just that it's hard to shoot the gun closer up, and that's just a fact. Zoom makes it harder to shoot closer up. And the last thing about the gun in terms of like the scope itself though, the way the gun looks fine. It's a pretty big gun. Not the greatest looking gun either, but it's a simple gun, simple scope, and overall just really great. Now we're moving on to the Elsie's rifle, the no time to explain clone, if you will. Very good looking gun in my opinion, as opposed to the Messenger. I think it looks way better. And it also has some very solid perks. Let's get into which ones you should be using. On the left side column, you have two options. You either have Zen Moment or Keep Away. These are the only two perks you should be looking at. In my personal preference, I always go with Zen Moment as opposed to Keep Away, but if you don't find any value in Zen Moment, Keep Away would be awesome because you can get that extra range and reload, and you can still use Head Seeker alongside it. As opposed to the Messenger where you have to decide, do I want to use Head Seeker or do I want to use Keep Away? You can't decide. You have to use either one. For the sake of the video and everyone else, I am going to be using Keep Away in terms of the God roll, but just know, in my opinion, I think Zen Moment is better. And on the right side column, you have Head Seeker. You could use Desperate Measures. You could use Kill Clip. I think those are the best three options. Desperado is an option if you wanted to, but it kind of fell off. I feel like there's no point in really using it. In terms of of the origin trait, is it any good? Final blows grant grenade energy when playing a light subclass or melee energy when playing a darkness subclass. I think it's okay. I mean, technically speaking, it's always working, but I mean, I do like wildcard a little bit more, but it's not a completely useless origin trait by any means, and free ability energy is always good, so it's not bad, like not terrible at all. So far, we're doing pretty good in terms of perks and origin traits. Elsie's rifle also has ricochet rounds, which is a very, very good thing. The base stats on Elsie's rifle, in my opinion, are better than the messenger. The messenger edges it out a little bit in terms of range, but that's literally it. Everything else on the Elsie's rifle is better in terms of handling, reload speed, aim assist, zoom, airborne effectiveness, recoil direction. Everything is better on the Elsie's rifle. In terms of what barrel you should go for on this gun, a lot of people have said different things. A lot of people have said that chambered compensator and hitting 83 recoil direction is the best option. I've tried this out, and honestly, yeah, it does feel good, but I don't like having very low handling. So instead of chambered, I would just probably go with arrowhead break. You'll get the 100 recoil direction, which is awesome. You'll get very good handling, and then you can just go ahead and slap on a ranged masterwork and be at 85 range with keep away. Again, the messenger would have around 91 range in this situation, so it is going to be better at long range battles, but this is going to be really good too. It's not like this can't compete or anything. And yes, of course, the Elsie's is not adept, so you cannot put an adept mod on this thing. So obviously, the messenger's better, right? I mean, it's pretty clear. Hold on just a second, though, because now Elsie's rifle can be enhanced as opposed to the messenger that cannot be enhanced. So now we have enhanced head seeker and enhanced keep away, which makes the gun even better. Is it an insane difference? No, I mean, clearly not, but it is going to be slightly better. In terms of the visuals on this gun, it looks really good, as I said before. The scope looks really clean. There are some times where you're shooting this gun and the flare could get in the way, I guess. Kind of similar to the messenger, because they are identical, but since it only has the 17 zoom, I find myself getting the 2 bursts way more often as opposed to the messenger. And again, since I firmly believe that Zen Moment is one of the best perks in the entire game, you are going to be winning a lot more duels with Zen Moment and Headseeker mixed together. It's almost impossible to lose a gunfight. So yes, your range is going to be slightly lower, but in exchange for that, you're going to be winning a lot more gunfights because of the flinch resistance and also just the pure aim assist you're going to be getting from this thing. So in my personal, humble opinion, the king of all pulse rifles, at least the king of all legendary pulse rifles at this current time, is the Elsie's rifle. I think it's better than messenger. I think it looks better than messenger. I think it shoots better than messenger, and I am full on glazing Elsie's rifle. If you disagree, let me know in the comments down below. A lot of you guys probably still think messenger's better, which I guess makes sense. I mean, looking on paper, the messenger does look beefier in terms of range and stuff like that, but I'm telling you guys, Elsie's just feels so damn good. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.